right, 1, 2, mic check. All right, 1:30 p.m. in the city of Detroit, Michigan. Decided to do this one impromptu, man. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, normally I don't do this too much. Last time I did the predictions blog was for SummerSlam, and this one I kind of had a match predicted, but I mispredicted it because it was on SmackDown instead of SummerSlam itself. But this one, um, Crown Jewel is on the way next Saturday, November 2nd. And thanks to some very dedicated fans out there, the last couple of SmackDowns have been pre-taped, which includes the one that's coming up next week. And I'm not going to get too much into it, but from that news, there is an extra match that is on this card. So I'm going to get down to this match, this card for Crown Jewel, and this looking like it's going to be one of the more exciting ones, even bigger than last year's. Let's like I want to go back to last year's. Last year's, like since since WWE has been taken over by TKO, main board member The Rock, and Triple H has been taken over as creative content officer. Uh, this dude has been mainly making sure that every show delivers, not just the ones that's in the states. He makes sure that all the shows in the in every country, especially the ones that's been in Saudi Arabia, he makes sure that those deliver. Last year's Crown Jewel had um, Seth Rollins and Drew in a world title match. Um, Rhea Ripley defend her title in the Fatal Five Way. Solo beat John Cena, take him out the game until he came back at WrestleMania 40. Mysterio lose to Logan Paul. And Logan Paul started his run as the United States champion. Um, Cody versus Damian Priest, a little sleeper, and then Roman versus LA Knight. I mean, not LA Knight. No, yeah, LA Knight. And that was the the shot, the rise of LA Knight as a singles competitor, much to the fans' agreement. But it didn't. Of course, Roman retained it. But nonetheless, that was nice. That was a good one. It was a way much. It was like an improvement from from the last few Crown Jewels. That's been much of a disappointment and more of like a money grab since this 10-year deal for WWE in Saudi Arabia has been going on since 2018. It's only 4 years left now. But this card has been looking stacked. Of course, with Crown Jewel and Saudi Arabia having their deals, they're going to have um, their little perks. So since Bad Blood, it's been announced that there are two matches will be there will be for Crown Jewel championships, one for male and for women. So the World Heavyweight Champion will face the WWE Champion, or either brand, on either gender. So Cody Rhodes will face Gunther. You got Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. Whoever wins will be the inaugural uh, Crown Jewel champion. This will be an annual event. So I'm guessing for the rest of the duration of their deal for the next 4 years, we'll have Crown Jewel champions. So these two, whoever wins, will be the first Crown Jewel champions, and then you also have uh, four other matches that has been booked, and most of them been booked for the last 2 weeks. Mainly this week from Raw and this week SmackDown. Um, on Raw, it's just been booked. Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. Um, we don't know if this is going to be a regular singles match, but I'm pretty sure it is. Um, Last week, Randy Orton tried to get Nick Aldis to book the match, but he said he couldn't do it because he had higher ups that would not let him do it. And this week, it got approved. Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton at Crown Jewel, thanks to Triple H being coerced by Randy Orton to make the match happen. And there's also a triple threat match for the United States Championship between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes to take up LA Knight because he was the special referee in the best of seven match between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, and because he felt that they were being too assertive in his actions as a referee, he took them both out with BFTs, and Nick Aldis said that was not part of the deal. So since you did that, You got to defend your belt against both these guys. And I didn't know it was going to be at Crown Jewel. I thought it was going to be, on the Friday before. But it will be at Crown Jewel, a triple threat match that's been booked. And then later that night, it also has been booked a fatal four-way tag team women's tag team fatal four-way match involving Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, Damage Control's Io Sky and Kyrie Sane, NXT's Metaphor, the team of Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson, taking on the tag team of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Fatal four way. Jade Jakar and Lash, two upcoming NXT women that has been inserting their way into the tag team division of the main roster, then involving themselves on Raw and SmackDown. They lost their shot against Bianca and Jade on SmackDown, but then they've also been involving themselves with Damage Control shots, and as well as Piper and Chelsea. So Ava, Aldis, and Pierce all agreed to make this fatal four-way happen for Crown Jewel. So that's a big one. And spoiler alert, this is where I come in on that part. Since we just saw last night that Jey Uso helped Jimmy and Roman Reigns cost the Bloodline, being Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, the WWE Tag Team Championships, losing to the Motor City Machine Guns within 2 weeks of their main roster debut. Not even main roster, just full roster debut, because they just straight debut, no NXT, nothing. The history of how great they were, just like AJ Styles was, got them where they at. So Jey Uso involved himself now that he lost the Intercontinental Championship thanks to the Bloodline. Now, thanks to him, the Bloodline are no longer WWE Tag Team Champions. And so I believe supposedly on Raw or on SmackDown next week, it will be announced that it will be a six-man tag team match between Solo's Bloodline. I'm believing it will be Solo and the Tongans, Tama and Tonga, Jacob at ringside, of course, versus Roman Reigns and the Usos. I saw a promo last week that leaked the whole thing. I'm not going to get into all of that, but that's basically what it's going to be. Roman Reigns and the Usos reunited once again to go against Solo, Tama, and Tonga. And that's 7 matches. Count it, 7 matches. I know it took a long time to describe all of that, but those, like, just to give you the whole little rundown, that's 7 matches. Most pay-per-views, most PLEs in the WWE, with the exception of SummerSlam, which I believe was 6 matches. Oh, that had 7 matches as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. SummerSlam was a 7-match card. It's one of the big 4, so that that takes an exception. But that's big for Crown Jewel to have 7 matches on this card, and they're of this magnitude. I believe that Roman Reigns is going to be remaining a part of the full-time roster, I think, for the rest of the year. If not showing up on every week of SmackDown, then he's going to be on all these PLEs. He returned on SummerSlam. He had a match at Bad Blood. And he's about to have a match at Crown Jewel. So, gonna get into the predictions of them. I'll start with the 2 non-title matches. One of them being Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Now, yesterday kind of summed up the whole thing about how come it took so long for Kevin and Randy to go against each other, to fight, to make this match happen officially under Triple H's eyes. And it has been because Kevin Owens feels that his trust was taken and was misused by Kevin and Cody, since they took sides on whose side he was on. And I believe it's more on the likes of Kevin Owens upset that, I've tried to get the championship from Roman all this time, and for Cody to side with Roman and for you to side with Cody, you're kind of siding with you're not on my side on that. If you're taking up with Cody who's siding with Roman, that means you're not on my side. So I trusted you guys, and my thing was to try to get the championship back, and I'm glad he got the title back. But now him siding with Roman, it seems like that you're taking away from the whole purpose. Fucking with Roman and Cody and Kevin basically strongly feels that way, and it's really really significant that Triple H said that he felt this way about Cody and Randy, but not about Sammy. Friends for over 20 years before the WWE and the WWE won tag team championships together, all of this stuff. So what did that mean between what y'all two teaming up and taking out the Usos and winning the titles and everything and being a cohesive unit at least until the Judgment Day took those titles from you, and then Jay Uso coming in and having you to be traded to SmackDown. What was that all about? Because because low key, like he had on a Sammy shirt and stuff like that. They always supported each other, even at WrestleMania. They, they before they entered the ring, before they made their entrance, they was both at the gorilla, like get that belt. Kevin was going for the U.S. belt. Sammy like get that belt. Kevin lost, but Sammy when he was out, Kevin said get that belt. Sammy got that belt from Gunther. So what type of that? What does that mean as far as your friendship? That's why I'm that's why I'm waiting for Kevin to be involved in this Bloodline War Games match. But that's here nor there right now. So Triple H saying that he felt that he lost his trust with Cody and Kevin. I mean, and Randy, which is why he feels so personal about this, and he wants to protect Randy from Kevin because, dude, I just brought you back from a double back fusion surgery, and the doctors told me for 18 months that you was not gonna come back, and I got you back. I don't want to lose you. I don't, man. Like, you know how much you mean to me. I brought both of you guys to the business. You first. And I don't want you to lose your career because of this type of grudge. And Randy being that strongly committed and saying that's not going to happen, you know, and but I can't let this slide though. I can't let it slide. And Triple H, this is not, I'm not trying to talk to Paul Levesque, dude, in this situation when it comes to this, because like he just, this is friend work, and you extract and attack me off of your spite and your little irrational reasoning, or logical or irrational or not, dude. I'm not gonna let that slide, Hunter. Dude. I'm talking to a man who ran in my house with my wife and kids in there, beat the shit out of me and with a sledgehammer and threw me out my fucking window at my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you do, bro? Like, come on, man. Be that type of dude and think about this. And and Triple H is really being smart about this. He said, I hope you know what you're getting yourself into, man. You damn near about to be 50, dog. 20 some over 20 years in this business, and you trying to go in with the dude that power bombs niggas on aprons. And I think that's what's gonna happen. Long story short, in this match, man. Because that's what it's about. Kevin Owens will win this match. And even if you don't win this match, it's about out winning. It's about taking out. It's about to go back to that crash out Kevin Owens that we've known and hated throughout the years when he's been a heel. Because when he is relentless, he doesn't give a damn. He's done it to Sammy. He's done it to so many other people, man. When he wants to take you out, he will power bomb you on that apron, maybe once or twice, and leave you laid out on the stretcher to make sure he's proved his point. So I would almost assume that Randy Orton might win the match. He'll win the match, but Kevin Owens is going to be the one left standing. He's going to be the one left standing while Orton's being laid out on the stretcher. So I'll give it a 50-50 on that perspective. Orton might win, but Kevin's going to be the one walking when it's over with, unfortunately. Speaking of walking, Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. This all started from when Seth Rollins was ready to get back up with CM Punk, since he cost CM Punk his SummerSlam match as a special referee. But Bronson Reed felt slighted because, nigga, I want a spot on the main roster, Adam Pearce, and you ain't doing nothing for me. So He said, I guess what I gotta do, I gotta do it myself. So his first actions before Seth could even get to CM Punk, he got to Bronson Reed, and Bronson got to Seth and started beating the shit out of him via six tsunamis from the top rope. Big dude from the top turnbuckle to the floor or to the ring 6 times, took Seth Rollins out of action for almost 2 months. In between that time, Bronson Reed was taking out anybody that stood in his way, had a big beef with Braun Strowman, and for weeks on end was tearing up arenas, barricades, limos, walls, all this type of shit, throwing people into each other, all of that. And last Monster Standing match before Bad Blood, um, another chaotic match they had between the two, but it ended when Seth Rollins made his way into the ring while it was all over after the ring damn near collapsed. And basically the rope snapped because of the superplex that they had. I would say the ring collapsed because the LED boards on the ring kind of kept it still, intact, maybe. But steel steps, everything all chaotic in the ring. Braun Strowman's laying on the steel steps face down. And while the referee's trying to get to the count to 10 to see who's going to stand up first, Seth Rollins enters, runs down, curb stomps Bronson Reed to keep the count. Braun Strowman stands up, wins the match. To let you know, I'm back and I ain't forgot. You want to make a name? All right, fine. All right, fine. I know your name now. So you wanted to make a name for yourself? All right, meet me anytime, any place. Adam Pierce, he's apprehensive about it because he knows he saw the history for the last few months of what Bronson's capable of. He doesn't want that to happen to Seth Rollins, who's a longtime veteran, one of the biggest names in the company, and he's a valuable asset. But Seth's like, that ain't gonna be the case, man. I know what I can do to this dude. I've faced crazier. What do you say? Cody said this to Gunther, but in the same spectrum, Seth Rollins has beaten beasts. He's slayed beasts and conquered giants. Seth Rollins took Omos out the WWE. He curb stomped Omos out the WWE, guys. um, he curb stomped his way into a Universal Championship, beating Brock Lesnar in the opening match of WrestleMania 35, the last 7-hour WrestleMania history. You know what I'm saying? So Seth Rollins has that history. He knows how to conquer and slay behemoths and monsters. But Bronson Reed is an upcoming monster that you don't want to fuck with. So I don't know. I would like to believe that Seth Rollins will win this match because it's been a while. Seth Rollins, he's in that level where he doesn't have to win or lose to be the man. He's been that guy to carry the company on his back for years and years on end, with or without a championship, whether it's the mid card championship or the world championship. He has been that guy to make sure that whenever you want a 5-star match, when need be, he's going to deliver. So I'm definitely sure that we're going to have a great match between the two. But I think he's going to put Bronson Reed over. You got to. That'll be the best thing to do, is to put Bronson Reed over. So it's going to be a great match, but I'll put Bronson Reed over Seth Rollins in that sentiment that Seth Rollins, he's a giving man. You know what I'm saying? So next match, fatal 4-way tag team match. I already described it in a short sentiment. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, once again, 2-time tag team women's champions after defeating Alba Fire and Isla Dawn at which one was it? Bash in Berlin. And since then, they've been defeating the people that have been coming towards their way, whether it's been Damage Control or Lash Legend and Alba Fire, or rematches with Last Legends of Carl Jackson trying to make a name, and Fatal Influence trying to mess with other baddies momentums like Kalani Jordan, and just being the women that want the smoke wherever they go. So Lash Legends, Jakar Jackson, they noticed that shit. And they like, all right, we want some titles, we want some title opportunities because ain't no NXT tag team title women's gold in NXT since they've been combined, thanks to Ronda and Shayna. I think I explained that before. But they were unsuccessful in a short match thanks to Kevin Owens trying to hijack the show. But nonetheless, they've been asserting themselves in the main roster's tag team division because they're like, we still want another opportunity. And Lash and Jakar was impressive in a match between Piper and Chelsea because Lash Legend, she looks like she could be the next EST. Lash Legend is a beautiful, tall, dark of strength that you don't see at first. Bianca and Jade, they have the muscle. You see the muscle in their build. You see the height in Lash Legend, but you don't see the strength until she shows it. And Chelsea, not Chelsea, but Piper Niven, she suffered the last extension. Both of them, I believe, but the last extension was first executed on Piper Niven, and it impressed Bianca and Jay. Like, oh shit, okay, because that's what part of their team is built upon the strength. And Jakar, she's more of the lightweight high flyer and the speedster of the team. We know about damage control. I call them the Sky Pirates, EO and Kyrie, uh, basically good high flyers. Um, then you have the dynamic of the big girl and little bully of Chelsea and Piper. And Chelsea has been, once again, I've been telling you, she's been just giving her the chance to, since the Money in the Bank match, and especially after that dumpster match with Mia Yim. We haven't seen her since then, but she's been exuding herself as one of the better women competitors since after that match, and with her personality of being the she's kind of shed that Karen personality, but her in ring prowess has been improving more and more. Not I won't say improved, has just been showing more and more. So this title shot for these three teams, would we possibly see a title change? If it is, I would rather put it on. Hey, I'm betting on black. So if it ain't Lash and Jakara, I'm going for Bianca and Jade to retain. Um, it would make no sense for them to have the belts once again for a short amount of time, like it's just for another 2 months, because they won the titles at Backlash, and then they ended up losing them. Um, get my finder right, so I want to make sure I get the history right when it comes to the PLEs. They won them at Backlash, and then they lost them at Clash of the Castle 2 months later. They just won them back at Bash in Berlin, hosted a show at Bad Blood, and then they're about to have another PLE title defense. And I think it would be unfair for them to lose another PLE title defense. I think that this should show that they are the dominant tag team in the division. And if not them, pass the torch on to the next bad baddies. But if that's the case, then but NXT, and the reason why I would say I'm betting on black if it's not Bianca and Jade, I would go for Jakara and Lash, is because NXT's women's division has been sprouting out the gate. I might mess around and do Halloween Havoc tomorrow just because of how spectacular it seems to look. They just messed around and debuted Zaria, who's formerly Delta in the Indies, who's like a powerful prowess of woman herself. And I'm just looking. I might mess around and stream that joint. I don't know if it's tomorrow or tonight. I mean, but I might stream that shit. But with Jade, with Jakara and Lash possibly winning, them taking those titles to the NXT Women's Division, and showing them off to the women like Roxanne, Cora Jade, Stephanie Vacour, Julia, Jada Parker, and Lola Vice, Nikita Lyons, all of the talented Fatal Influence, like all of them women showing that off. Like we got this from the main roster. Now, what you gonna say about that? And Cora and Roxanne, like it's a major thing that can happen between that being the outcome with Chikara and Lash winning those belts. I think that would be a big look for those two because already Bianca and Jay were impressed. But if they win, and I think they should pin the champions, unlike Alba and Isla, who pinned Shayna and Zoe, when they won the titles, I think that Jakara and Lash should pin the champions should they become the women's tag team champions. So I'm betting on black either way. That's my prediction on that one. Next match is the triple threat match between Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and LA Knight, the United States champion. Quick prediction mainly, this was just the way to get LA Knight past the beef between Carmelo and Andrade. Now, I think would it be a resolve for the two? Perhaps. But I think LA Knight should retain the United States Championship just because it has to be, with Cody Rhodes being the top guy, and even though he is loved by the whole universe, I think him being the champion, LA Knight that is like an extra piece of like that extra cherry on top to get the fans to watch the show more. And he's a hell of a character to get behind. And Carmelo, even though he's up in the ranks, he is the number one draft pick of SmackDown from NXT. And he's been impressing the crowd every match he has, whether it's with or without Andrade. And for him to have this title shot at Saudi Arabia, it's a big deal, very big deal. I think this is his PLE. No, this ain't his PLE pay per view. I'm sorry, because Money in the Bank was, but a title shot though, big opportunity for him. I would want him to win, but I don't think it's his time yet. But even if he does win, that's a big ups for him. But I think the smarter decision would be for LA Knight to retain the championship, just because it's the smarter thing. Melo hasn't even had a like, even though he don't need it, merch ain't a big deal for heels. But Melo is that type of dude that when he wins, he should have like a couple of shirts here and there to because a lot of even though we don't like him, we know we like him. And then here's the other thing that could possibly and LA Knight winning is another thing because uh we're waiting for the status of AJ Styles and his ankle injury. It was a ankle twinge, an ankle sprain, I believe, but I don't think it took him completely out of action. I think that they did mention him, I believe, last night during the seventh match between Andrade and Carmelo, with LA Knight as the referee, which caused this whole thing to begin with. So with LA Knight, I mean, what would expect AJ Styles to interfere in the match? I don't think so. But I think after this, when LA Knight retains, then it should be AJ Styles and Carmelo Hayes, reprise or re-intro to that beef, while Andrade goes for something else, or maybe it's back to a one-on-one with LA Knight. Who knows? But LA Knight is going to retain the United States Championship. I ain't gotta that to give you the scoop. Now the final three matches, I'll give you the next two matches for the Crown Jewel Championship. First one, Women's Championship. This one almost seems a little bit more exciting than the Men's Championship, just because of all the tangibles surrounding it. Now, of course, you got Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax, Women's Champion versus WWE Women's World Champion, competing for the inaugural championship, but you have a lot of tangibles surrounding each other. You have Nia Jax, the women's champion on SmackDown, who's um, having a little bit of trouble as the queen and champ because she's having problems with the foes she's dealing with, like Naomi or Bailey. So she has Tiffany Stratton has her as her Barbie bestie, but she's been failing at trying to help Nia Jax with taking down her opponents, let alone Tiffany being Miss Money in the Bank and always trying to sneakily cash in on Nia Jax. So Nia is hoping that after I'm done beating up Liv Morgan, you can cash in on Liv Morgan and you can become the women's champion, basically. And she's basically forcing that down her throat. Do that, bitch. You better do that. I'm giving you a clear opportunity to become women's world champion. You bet not try to do nothing with me. But like I said, Tiffany Stratton has been failing in thwarting her opponents like Naomi and Bailey. So she is now recruiting the likes of Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, whom last week when Nia Jax had Candice LeRae in a tag team match against Naomi and Bailey, she helped her win with because Indy Hartwell was ringside and got the distractions available. And then just last night, Candice LeRae, I believe, did she defeat Naomi or did she lose? No, no, she lost to Naomi because Bailey made an even score. But nonetheless, you got somebody who's more successful in trying to help Nia Jackson. Ain't got no distraction to worry about trying to take the title from her, at least in an early aspect. You got all right. So you got that on SmackDown. Hold on. Pardon the interruption, folks. A little business to handle afterwards. But yeah. But yeah, on the Raw side of things, with Liv Morgan as the world's champion, women's world champion, she is feeling kind of on top, but not quite. She is women's world champion with the help of a returning Raquel Rodriguez, helping her keep Rhea at bay from Liv Morgan, as well as Dirty Dom. But Rhea is still relentless in her chase of wanting to become women's champion. And as much as Raquel Rodriguez is a tall force to be reckoned with, she still is not strong enough to take down like I said, a relentless and unstoppable force in Raquel and Rhea Ripley, because she took down all three, Liv, Raquel, and Dirty Dom, as far as trying to get the belt from her. So she even invaded SmackDown while I believe Nia had some type of match. I forgot who it was against, but Rhea came in that bitch and was like, I don't care where you at, Liv. I'm coming after you and Raquel until I get my belt back. So Liv is still kind of on the lookout for Rhea, but got a little bit of bodyguard insurance with the assistance of a new Judgment Day member, Raquel. So my best guess is that Liv has more or less to worry about than Nia does. So in that sentiment, she has a more reliable bodyguard in Raquel Rodriguez. Nia Jax has a less reliable friend in Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, she's wanting to cash in on that briefcase, especially on a bullying Nia Jax, while Raquel Rodriguez is on the lookout for a vengeful Rhea Ripley and doesn't care who she has to go through, even if it is Nia Jax, who she's beaten down there everybody in that ring, except for Tiffany Stratton, who she had to partner with on Raw. And I think she lost to or disqualified, something like that. But my best belief is that it might be, I ain't gonna say a no contest, but I will believe that, Nia Jax will win the Crown Jewel Championship. However, with all the calamity that will be going on with Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley fighting, that'll get Liv distracted. Nia gets the win, but then Raquel and Rhea keep on fighting and tumbling on and have Nia Jax involved, and Nia fucks around and gets fucked up. And Tiffany would be standing aside looking at all of this, and then she'll finally say, fuck it. Ref, you're already right here. I'm cashing in. Nia, you done, bitch. It's Tiffy time. And then we will have a new women's world champion in Tiffany Stratton at Crown Jewel. So Nia will be your Crown Jewel champion and still your queen of the ring, but no longer your women's world champion. That is my prediction on that. So Nia will win, but at the cost of losing her women's championship. Uh, and for the men's Crown Jewel championship, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. No big storyline between the two that's really distracting them. Gunther, he retained his championship against Sami Zayn after Bad Blood and was primarily focused on Cody Rhodes. No backstories in between. While Cody Rhodes, after he retained his championship against Solo Sikoa and defeat helped defeat the Bloodline with the help of Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. But now with The Rock looking at him, talking about, I see three of y'all and it's over with. And then you got Kevin Owens beating you up backstage, Randy Orton being your sidekick. Gunther is right now targeting Cody Rhodes' story. It's like, you won the title for your father. Um, you're doing all this with Randy Orton and everything. Yeah, you're distracted, man. You're saying you're doing all of this. You want the John Cena schedule. You're fighting for your daughter. Your daughter ain't got nothing to do with this. This is about you and me. I'm the best wrestler that you got to deal with, and I'm doing this. I'm trying to win this Crown Jewel Championship for me, for just for me, not for nothing else. Not for my family, not for my friends, not for these people. I'm doing this for me because that's what the story is about for me. So being the top guy among everybody. For you, you trying to win shit for everybody else but you. And that's where your crutch is. You trying to please everybody. He said, once you stop pleasing everybody, once you stop trying to help Roman Reigns become the right guy, and once you're trying to stop help Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, once you done with that, your story is basically over. That's why you keep doing this for everything else, because you ain't got no story. You ain't got nothing interesting. So that's why you help everybody else. So Cody, him being the politician that he is and the great spokesperson that he is for the company, he's basically saying that I do this because that's what I'm supposed to be as the champion. I'm supposed to carry this company, supposed to be the man that show up at these events. You're the world champion, the workhorse, but when it comes to these events, you don't show up. You you say no. And Gunther said, that's the difference. I can say no, where you're the yes man. He's like, I got the power to do that. It's like, but you bow down. And Gunther struck his chord on that. And afterwards, Cody took the shot. But Cody doesn't have any help until because Imperium, Gunther has the man Ludwig Kaiser, and he made sure that he got on his side until Randy Orton came out. But will we have Randy Orton by his side at Crown Jewel? Because, like I said, I believe Kevin Owens will take Randy Orton out in his match, to where Randy Orton will not be able to interfere if Ludwig Kaiser has a part in interfering for on Gunther's behalf. So on that note, I believe that Gunther will be the crown jewel champion. It's only right. Cody Rhodes doesn't need to be the undisputed champion and crown jewel champion. It's only an annual joint. You ain't gonna be carrying it around. While Gunther, him being the workhorse champion, it's a better look for him because um it's like taking him down is almost like taking down one of the top bosses, and that makeshift championship that that's not going to be defended, that trophy championship rather. It's just like the certification of like, yeah, I beat that guy because I'm not worried about nothing else. Cody doesn't need that. Um, so Gunther, I got him winning the championship. I got him winning the Crown Jewel Championship, and it's going to be probably more off of just him winning it by himself. I'm not saying that he's going to need Ludwig Kaiser, but the fact that Randy Orton will not be ringside because, or will not be around ringside to try to help because Kevin Owens took him out, and probably even after the match, I think Kevin Owens is going to do even more work on Cody Rhodes. So yeah, Gunther wins the Crown Jewel Championship for the men. And my final match prediction, which has not been booked yet, but soon will be officially on TV and all that shit. The OG bloodline versus the new bloodline. Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Solo, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa. Since Roman Reigns been back, he's been on his own, trying to fight off this new bloodline of Solo Sikoa, which include Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa. They've been tag team champions once or twice. Solo coercing Jacob Fatu to hand his title because he was the original person to help to get DIY off those belts. And because Tonga Loa had an eye patch or some shit, he couldn't wrestle. But soon after, a week after, Solo made Jacob his enforcer. He told him to hand that belt off to Tonga Loa. But nonetheless, Roman was fighting these guys off mostly by himself. He had the reluctant help and assistance of Cody Rhodes to help beat off the bloodline at Bad Blood. But we see the warning shot from The Rock after Jimmy Uso helped Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes defeat the bloodline. So for the last few weeks, Roman and Jimmy have been getting manslaughtered by the new bloodline. Jimmy being the one that he is, the smart one that he is, I would say in this case, and no wise man around. He's saying that, hey man, we need help. It's four of us, it's four of them and two of us. We need help. And Roman kind of already knowing what he's saying. He's saying, no, I'm not getting Jimmy's help. I'm not getting Jay's help. Sorry, I'm not getting Jay's help. But Jimmy said, hey man, I love you, bro, but I'm letting you know right now, man, I'm the only one in the family who acknowledges you. And that kind of struck a chord because after all these attacks, Jay Uso has not come out to help, even with Roman acknowledging Jay, saying that he was proud of him for being the Intercontinental Champion during his reign. Because yet and still, no help from Jay Uso during these onslaughts because Jay Uso is on Raw handling his own business as the Intercontinental Champion. But when Jay Uso gets his name mentioned by Solo, Jey Uso shows up on SmackDown and says, "Man, breaking up the family ain't the thing to do. If you're trying to take over the bloodline, that's not how it's supposed to be done." And Solo's like, "That's I don't care. I'm not your little brother. I'm the tribal chief. You're going to acknowledge me." And so is Roman and Jimmy. And that's not how it is. And that wasn't how Jay saw it. He said next time he saw him, it was going to be different. So unfortunately, at the next Monday Night Raw, when Jay defended his championship against Braun Breaker, the new bloodline got involved and they cost uh, Jay the title after holding the championship for 4 weeks, making Braun Breaker a two-time IC champion. And now recently, last night at SmackDown, the new bloodline Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa defended their championships against the new debuting Motor City Machine Guns. Roman and Jimmy came out and did their part and kept Solo and Jacob at bay. But then eventually, you saw the return. You saw Jay Uso all in all black and in the ski mask, taking out the Tongans and helping the Machine Guns become the new tag team champions. And then now, within a spoiler alert, within the next week or the next taping of Raw, um, I don't know what happened on the Raw, but on the SmackDown afterwards, um, hey, what's up, Sias? Appreciate it. I saw you saw the message. Just doing my little thing here. Just let me know when you're free so we can do another episode. That's all. We can get on topics and whatnot. But I'm just doing my little predictions here for next week's little show that I'm gonna be live streaming for. But I just figured I'd drop my 2 cents for a spoiler match that's coming up. But yeah, within the next week, you see Jay show up and makes it clear to Roman that hey, this go around, I'm back because that fake ass bloodline cost me my championship and they messing with the family. Now, we ain't resolved our thing yet because I remember what you done to me, Roman, for the past 4 years, what you done to me mentally, physically, and emotionally. So he's like, this ain't all right. This ain't all square yet between me and you, Roman. It's like it's taking a lot out of me to even stand across from you and not beat your ass, basically. But I'm back here and doing this because that's what family do. This is what family is about, not what solo is about. This is family. And I want to show the people before the family before us and afterwards, the Samoan dynasty, that this is what this is about. Family above all. So I'm here for you, but I ain't your right hand man like how I used to be. I ain't your lackey. I'm your equal. I'm your cousin. I'm your younger cousin, but I'm your equal, Roman. So we can do it like that and we can handle our business. And if you get any type of disrespectful towards me, I'm gone. And you can do the same thing with me, but we can do this together as family and as cousins and not like like a tribal bloodline and whoop this fake bloodline's ass. Roman, he agreed with the yeet, and it looks like that's gonna be the case. And as exciting as it sounds, for the first time in a long time, because the original bloodline was with those three and Dean Ambrose. Roman stepped out, was out with the Shield, the Usos with the face paint. You know, they helped out Roman when he was on the quest for his first WWE championship when he was going against Sheamus. So they always stood by Roman's side. And then years later, during the pandemic, the bloodline uh, got revamped in the fashion that we've seen it now for the last 4 years since 2020 August. And as exciting as it seems, exciting as it sounds, I don't think that they're going to win this match. Cody and Roman won the last time, so it kind of seems unfair. You got to have you got to have the Roman bloodline kind of take a L in this particular moment because it's still 4-on-3. And the other thing too, on that tape in the SmackDown, another spoiler alert, still didn't see no wise man Paul Heyman. Hmm? So I'm telling you, man, a double agent. And the reason I'm saying double agent is because the takeout, the comes to tribe, the tribal chief is like, I think that Paul Heyman will be the first person to announce that The Rock is the high chief Sayoli. So that's just my piece of that. But still, yeah, no Paul Heyman on the side of the on of Roman Reigns. So that's part of the reason why I think they're going to lose. And plus, you got Jacob Fatu. I believe it's going to be, like I said, Solo and the Tongans versus the OG Bloodline, Roman and the Usos. And but Jacob, he's gonna be that X factor ringside, taking out all three of those dudes and making sure that Solo is the dominant one. And of course, the Ulafala is gonna be around, and Roman's gonna be two more enticed with that, like CM Punk with the bees. So um, yeah, that's I believe that's what's going to happen because yeah, I didn't still have not seen any signs of Sami Zayn yet. That's another thing. So is Sammy going to have anything to say about this on the upcoming Raw? Since we don't see him on the SmackDown for next week in that taping, and we have him later involved in that. So like, ain't no telling. But yeah, like I said, unless Sammy shows up on Crown Jewel, then yeah, I got the bloodline, the Timu bloodline beating the OG bloodline. And that's what's going to involve later on into to War Games Survivor Series, where Sammy does later get involved with the 4-on-4. And then I see Kevin Owens getting himself involved. For some reason, I think like Solo is still gonna be relentless. Like, since he's beat the OG bloodline, his quest is still dominance. So he's going to try to still keep coming after Cody Rhodes and the Undisputed Championship. And then Kevin Owens, he's targeting him. And that's where Sammy gets more involved. And that's where I say it's 5-on-5. So work with me, folks. So yeah, the 7 matches, that's my predictions. The Timu bloodline beats the OG bloodline. Gunther and Nia Jax are your crown jewel champions, but Tiffany Stratton will cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase and become your new WWE Women's Champion by cashing in on Nia Jax. LA Knight will retain his United States Championship. If not Bianca and Jade retaining, then I got Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. I got Bronson Reed over Seth Rollins. And I'm 50-50 on Randy Orton winning the match between Kevin Owens, but I got him being carted out the fucking building. Those are my predictions for next week's Crown Jewel, November 2nd. I normally don't do predictions like this, but like I said, this card is getting stacked up to be something exciting, especially with this pending match that's about to be made official by next week. Can't wait for it. I'll definitely be live streaming for that event. I might be, like I said, I might be even live streaming for Halloween Havoc, which may be tonight or maybe tomorrow. But I'm excited to see it because I know Ethan Page is not winning the NXT Championship tonight. Not again. I wouldn't be surprised to see him Punk shows up because he was talking mess about him get like losing the match because Punk was the referee. But hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna watch it for sure, but see if I live stream it because I did do Heatwave. I got to do another NXT stream for y'all. But until then, I'm out this bitch like newborn puppies. Enjoy your weekend this Saturday, y'all. Peace.